Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So of course, on the 20th of August, Oleksandr Usyk will be defending his unified heavyweight titles against Anthony Joshua. Of course, last September, Oleksandr Usyk, I would say comprehensively outboxed Anthony Joshua en route to a 12-round unanimous decision. I'm not saying it was an easy fight per se, but it was clear who won, sort of 8 rounds to 4, 9 rounds to 3, that sort of fight. And yeah, it's interesting. Going into this rematch, I've just found the whole setup, the whole build-up bizarre. I mean, there's been next to no build-up. Obviously, before the fight was announced, there were numerous problems in regards to both fighters. Anthony Joshua, there was a lot of talk about his new TV deal in the UK. Would he stay with Sky Sports? Would he sign with DAZN? Turns out that he signed with DAZN in the end, and also whether he would get a new trainer or not. Now, it's turned out that he's added Robert Garcia to his training setup. So from Joshua's point of view, from his side of things, there were some things that were uncertain. And in regards to Oleksandr Usyk, obviously the big one was the whole situation in Ukraine. You know, how that's going to affect him, how that's going to affect his training. He got out of it, and yeah, he's been training hard and whatnot. So everything kind of panned out in the end. But even once the fight got signed, weirdly, there's been no buzz, there's been no build-up. Of course, here in the UK, it was only recently announced, like a week ago, 3 weeks before the fight, that Sky Sports would be the broadcaster here. And of course, it's on pay-per-view. But now, you know, even when the fight is signed, even now, when we know we have a broadcaster, it feels like the promotion for this fight has been non-existent, which is strange when it comes to Anthony Joshua. You know, when Joshua fights, usually it's kind of all over the place. You know, you see the posters, you see the adverts, etc. A lot of social media content. It doesn't feel the same this time around. And the whole build-up from start to finish, to me at least, has felt extremely strange. Maybe that's just me, maybe that's just my perception, but it doesn't feel like your average Anthony Joshua build-up, to be honest. It really doesn't. But there's numerous factors about this rematch that I'm intrigued by. First and foremost, how are both guys going to approach this fight? You know, from Anthony Joshua's side of things, obviously he's added Robert Garcia to his training camp. The question that I have is how big of an impact or how big of a say will he have in Joshua's training camp? Will he be able to have one-on-one time with Anthony Joshua? How much can he say in the corner on fight night? Will he be the corner leader on fight night, or will he take a backseat approach? Because obviously Angel Fernandez is another one of Joshua's trainers. So naturally, I do wonder how that's going to work in training camp, how it has worked in training camp, and how that's going to work on fight night. Maybe somebody will take the responsibility as being the chief second in the corner. We shall see. But also Anthony Joshua's approach, all of the noise seems to be indicating that he will approach this fight in a much more aggressive fashion. And I certainly believe he needs to do that. But even now, I'm not really certain on what way he should go about that. One thing I will say, I do believe Anthony Joshua needs to be working on Usyk's body a lot more in this second fight. I don't really think Joshua had all that much success first time around, but I felt one area where he did have success in the middle rounds was the body work. He was landing some really good uppercuts to the body. I think it was round 8 or round 9, but he never really built on it. He did it for a couple of rounds, and he never built on it. He never, tried to take advantage of that. I wonder whether the addition of Robert Garcia could maybe bring that out of Joshua, trying to work the body of Oleksandr Usyk. Of course, Usyk has tremendous stamina. He can move for days. He can throw a lot of punches side to side. You know, he's a bag of energy, Oleksandr Usyk, and maybe body work for Joshua could be key to slow him down. So yeah, Joshua's tactics in particular really intrigue me, how he's going to go about this, because he can't stand off again and play tit-tat boxing with Oleksandr Usyk. Chances are, if he does that again, the same thing will happen. He'll get outboxed, he'll get outfoxed, he'll get outsped. Unless he lands one perfect shot, he can't beat Oleksandr Usyk that way, you know? So Joshua's tactics going into this rematch, they really intrigue me. I'll be interested to see how he approaches this fight, to see what his stance is. Will he try to approach this behind the high guard and walk Usyk down? Who knows? Or maybe like the Povetkin fight, where he's kind of forceful on the front foot, but he's got a low lead hand, trying to draw the lead and time Usyk. Maybe he'll try and do that. Who knows? But yeah, Joshua's tactics really intrigue me. But as does Oleksandr Usyk's in this fight. Oleksandr Usyk is an incredibly smart individual, not just in terms of boxing, but in regards to the world, the universe, and everything in it. I think he knows the score in this rematch. At the end of the day, Anthony Joshua is the A-side still. He is the big money guy, and many people in boxing, both on Eddie Hearn's side, Top Rank side, numerous TV broadcasters, we know what fight they want. They want Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury for undisputed. That is the biggest fight in boxing right now. If Joshua wins against Usyk, that is the fight they want. And with all of that being said, I think Usyk is going to be very aware of that. He's going to be very cautious of that. I mean, look at that first fight, for example. If you ask any human being who's got a pair of working eyes and some sort of integrity, they will tell you that Oleksandr Usyk won that fight clearly. Maybe Joshua won 3 rounds, maybe 4 rounds at a real push. But, Howard Foster gave this guy 5 rounds somehow. So he would need to win 1 more round to get a draw on Foster's scorecard, when in reality, he was second best that night. If Joshua does a little bit better in this rematch, given what's at stake here, given the money at stake, let's say he wins 1 more round, 1 more legit round than he won in the first fight, who knows? Maybe they'll rob Oleksandr Usyk. I certainly think it's a real possibility. And I think Oleksandr Usyk has to be very cautious of that going into this rematch. And I think he is. Looking at his training footage is interesting. It's hard to say whether he weighs more than first time around, but he certainly looks more jacked. He looks stronger. It almost looks like he's been training for strength. Maybe he's going to go in there and try to actually stop Anthony Joshua and put this to bed once and for all, because he himself knows what the boxing establishment wants, and that is Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. I've seen a few people kind of voice their concern for Usyk going into this rematch, being a bit too jacked. Maybe the stamina's not going to be there. Maybe the speed's not going to be there. I guess that's a possibility, but to me, he doesn't look overly jacked. He doesn't look overly muscled, but he certainly looks more toned than he did previously in the first fight. From what I've seen so far, he looks stronger, and I wonder, I mean, he knows he hurt Joshua on more than one occasion that first time around, but he never really pulled the trigger. But going into this rematch, if he's got a bit more strength and he's willing to pull that trigger, there's a very real possibility that Oleksandr Usyk could take out Anthony Joshua. At any point in the fight, not just late on when Joshua's tired, like he does get tired, but we saw early on in that first fight, Joshua got buzzed with an overhand left early on. And I think Usyk might be looking at those moments and saying to himself, you know what? Yes, I can outbox this guy. Yes, I'm a better boxer. But if it is in some way competitive, they may very well rob me. So I've got to go in there and blast this guy out. And I think he's got the skill set to do it. I really do. So yeah, I think Usyk, not only will Joshua have to adjust his game, I think Oleksandr Usyk might surprise some people going into this fight with his game plan himself. Whether that is beneficial for him or not, we shall see. What I'm trying to say is, in a few words, is that this rematch, I don't know what it is, but the energy surrounding this rematch is strange. That's just my interpretation. I've got 2 visions right now, and this isn't a prediction. I will probably do it like an official prediction nearer the time. But right now I've got two visions. Could go one of two ways. I think there could be some major controversy and Anthony Joshua wins, or Oleksandr Usyk just blasts AJ out of there. I don't know what it is. There's some weird energy surrounding this fight from both camps, from the promotion. To me it's strange, and honestly, I don't really know what to make of it. Though I have to say, that has made me all the more intrigued for this rematch. I think there's a lot to consider here when you analyse this rematch. There's a lot to unpack, and if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I wouldn't bet on this fight, quite frankly. I really wouldn't. Just how I see it, I think there's something up here. I don't know what it is. I really don't, but we shall see. We shall see. Usually my gut instinct is rarely wrong. I don't really express it enough on this channel, but we shall see. Share your thoughts below. What do you think of this rematch? How are you leaning right now? Are you leaning with Usyk to do a better job this time around and take out Anthony Joshua? Or do you believe Joshua can win this fight, whether legitimately or by controversy? Share your thoughts below. I want your thoughts on this rematch. Peace.